Almond l'kohen gadol, a widow to a kohen gadol, which he's not permitted to marry. Grusha chalutz l'kohen hedjut, a woman who's a grusha, she's married to a kohen hedjut, an ordinary kohen, it's a forbidden relationship. Lo yochel b'truma, they're not permitted to eat truma. Okay? Almond to a kohen gadol, or a divorcee who's married to a kohen hedjut, even though it's min ersin, lo yochel b'truma. Rabbi Loza and Reb Shimon machshirin. Rabbi Loza and Reb Shimon, they say no, they're permitted. Why? Because she didn't become a chalola, right? Now, if a Kohen has relations with a woman, right, when does she become a chalola? Is not permitted to eat truma. Let's say she herself, let's say she's a bas Kohen. She's a bas Kohen, and she's a divorcee. She's permitted to eat truma. Of course, she returns to the house of the father. What happens if she marries a Kohen, and the Kohen doesn't have relations with her? She's still permitted to eat on the Torah level. She's permitted, right? Because she hasn't been defiled yet. Okay, so the Tanna Kama says Almodo Kohen Gadol Grush Chalutz Kohen Hedjit Mina Ersin, even though it's Mina Ersin, Lo Yochel, they're not permitted to eat truma. Rabbi Lozer Shimon Machshirin, they say she's permitted. What about Nis'armlo, Nisgarshu, Minan Nisuin? Psulos. What about they became widowed after they were fully married to the Kohen? So if they were married to the Kohen, they became defiled. So even though they're a Bas Kohen, right, she's not permitted. Min Ersin Ksheros. So according to Rabbi Lozer Reb Shimon, because since if it's Min Ersin, where she wasn't defiled, so being married to a even though the Kohen ultimately is not permitted to be with her, it doesn't in any way detract from her rights. She doesn't forfeit her rights. Tanna Kama says she forfeits her rights. Okay? Rabbi Lozer Reb Shimon says she doesn't forfeit her rights. Tanya. Omer Reb Meir Kal V'chomer. So Reb Meir says, the Tanna Kama is Reb Meir. Stamish is Reb Meir. The anonymous opinion is Reb Meir, he says. But it's a Kal V'chomer. Ma Kedushay Rishus. E Machilin. Hear this. If she'd be married to a non-Kohen, right? She's married to a Yisrael. Is she permitted to eat? A Bas Kohen marries a regular Yisrael is not permitted to eat Truma the moment she marries him. So over here she's married to a Kohen, where the Kohen is not permitted to consummate this marriage. Right? So, Ma Kedushin Rishus Emachilin, a Kedushin which is permitted, she's not permitted to eat Truma, Avera Lo Koshkein. So over here where this is a marriage in sin, a Kohen is not permitted to marry a Grusha. So since ultimately it's going to lead to something which is not permitted, so definitely she should lose her rights. Okay? Omer lo, so Rabbi Lozer Reb Shimon say to Reb Meir, no, they're not comparable. Lo, imamar to b'kedushay rushu shkenein lo lahachum mokam acher. A Yisrael, who's she married to? She's married to a man who has no right that on his behalf you should be permitted to eat truma. But the Kohen, because let's say he has another wife who's permitted him, right? He could, or a full wife, she eats if it's a permitted marriage. So therefore they're not comparable. If a Bas Kohen marries a Yisrael, although the marriage is permitted, but who's the husband? The husband has no relevance to provide truma for his wife. But here she married a Kohen, so she herself is a Bas Kohen. She marries a Kohen. Could he provide for someone else to eat truma? The answer is yes. Right? If he'd have another wife, he'd provide for the truma. If he'd have slaves, right? Evet Kanani, they'd eat truma on his behalf. Therefore, she continues to eat. See, therefore, the two situations are not comparable. The husband here has a right to provide truma for someone else. Okay, that's what Rabbi Lozer Reb Shimon responded to Reb Meir. Therefore, their opinion that if it's been an ersin, she's permitted to eat truma because she hasn't become a zona, right? Once the Kohen has relations with her, then it's over. Because a zona, even a Bas Kohen, let's say she becomes defiled, unrelated marrying a Kohen, let's say a Goy has relations with her, a Mamza has relations with her, she's finished, she can't eat truma any longer. But here we're talking Mina Ersin. She's a Bas Kohen, she marries a Kohen, she's a Grusha, Mina Ersin. No, so that's the argument. Right? So the Tanna Kama, Reb Meir says she can't eat. Rabbi Lozer Reb Shimon says she can eat. Now a new discussion. Go ahead. if she has a forbidden sexual relationship. She's not permitted to. Like a grusha. Let's say grusha. Kohen's not permitted to marry grusha. Once the Kohen has a relationship with her, she assumes the status of zona. She had a forbidden relationship. Once she has a forbidden sexual relationship, she's considered defiled. A defiled woman is not permitted to eat truma. No, he's a cholob. He's a cholob. Let's say there's no child. He's not a mamzer. She's a grusha. But let's say there's no child. Right? Doesn't make a difference. She's a defiled woman's not permitted to eat truma. But here we're talking, it's been an irsin. They didn't go to chuppah. He just was kedushin. Rabbi Elazar Shimon said, there's no reason why should she forfeit her rights to eat truma? Right? Now, a new case, interesting child, a psuadaka, a person himself that he has, his male organ has been damaged or his testicles were, whatever it is, were removed. It's called psuadaka. That Torah says, Lo yovel psuadak b'kal Hashem. He's not permitted to marry a regular person. He could only marry a gioris. Right? The Gemara later speaks about a case. Let's say you have a Kohen, he's married to a woman, and then he becomes a psuadaka after he's married. That means he was providing truma all along to her. He married a Bas Yisrael, now he becomes a psuadaka. Does she continue eating? So he started, he provided, and she's still Ashes Kohen. If he has relations with her, then it's over. Because then she becomes a zona, a psuadaka. He's not permitted to have relations with her. Even if, no, because he's not permitted. He has to divorce her at that point. But let's say he would have relations afterwards, then she can't, then for sure. The question is if he didn't have relations with her. That's going to be a discussion next page. Is she permitted to continue eating truma? Because she already was eating truma on his behalf. Howard, sounds familiar? What? Definitely. Psuadak eat truma. He's a Kohen. Kohen eats truma. Not a problem. Okay. Omer Rabbi Elazar, Omer Rabbi Oshia. Psuadaka Kohen Shekidish Bas Yisrael. A Psuadaka who marries a Bas Yisrael. Okay? Bono Machlokes. He just did Kedushin. Yeah? Bono Machlokes Rameh Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Shimon. It seems to be it's the same argument. The case in the Mishnah is speaking about a Bas Kohen marries a what? Who's a Gerusha marries a Kohen. So it seems to be that argument is this argument. But here it's a Psuadaka Kohen who marries a Bas Yisrael. Seems to be Machlokes Rabbein Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Shimon. Rabbein Adoma Mishit Mishtab Meres Lebi Psula Dorais Lo Ochlo. What does Rabbein say? Since this woman ultimately, what does Kedusha lead to? Chuppah. So since she's destined to be defiled, even though she hasn't yet been defiled, she's not permitted to eat truma. That's her mayor's position. That's why even mina erisin, she's not permitted to eat truma. What does Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Shimon? No, until she's defiled, she's not defiled. So therefore, she continues. Hanami lo ochlo. Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Shimon di amri mishtam meres lebi psula doraisa ochlo. Although ultimately there's going to be a psula, meaning if he consummates the marriage, it's going to disqualify her. Hanami ochlo. But until that happens, cheats. So the same thing here. A Kohen marries a woman, right? A Bas Yisrael. So Bas Yisrael normally can eat truma on behalf of the husband. So, but ultimately, if he has a relationship with her, he's going to defile her, correct? So according to Rameir, that she deals with the inevitable, what's going to happen, that already prevents her now. Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Shimon say, no, it has to happen to not allow her. So it didn't happen yet. Rabbi says, no, they're not comparable. Not comparable. That's only there because over there he could provide truma elsewhere. Right? That's Rabbi Elazar Shimon. The issue about a Kohen Gadol marries a what's his name? Does ersin to an almana. Himself, if he's married a regular woman. Right? Or if he has another wife, does she eat truma on his behalf? So we're dealing with a person where he can't provide truma. This man, because he's a psudak, he can't provide truma for anybody. He's not permitted to marry a kosher woman. Right? Maybe here also, no. If he marries a Gioris, because a Psuadak is permitted to marry a Gioris. There's an argument whether a Kohen's permitted to marry a Gioris or not. Right now, the Gemara is going according to the opinion that a Kohen's permitted to marry a Gioris. Let's say she converted before she was 3 years old. So a woman before she's 3, even if she has a sexual relationship, it's not called a sexual relationship. So therefore, if she became a convert before she was 3, So even though, let's say, somebody had relations with her, it doesn't affect her status. So that's what the Gemara says. If you marry a bas gerim, where she converted when she was what? So she's a gioris. But she's permitted to the Kohen because she's not considered a defiled woman, because she converted before she was 3 years old. That question was posed. Rabbi Yochanan posed that question to Rabbi Oshia, and it wasn't resolved. So it's not so simple, as we'll discuss in a moment. Because firstly, who says she's permitted? Who says she's permitted to a... He's permitted to a gioris? Itmar. Abayo maho ma'achilo below yodo. Yeah. Below yodo. Hear this? What's the case? It says because he could feed her. Let's say a Kohen marries a woman, so the woman eats regular bas Yisrael. Subsequently, he becomes a p'tua daka. So now he can no longer live with his wife. So right now, his wife, she's permitted to eat truma because she was eating truma until now, right? So that's what he says. What does it mean? He could feed truma mokam acher. That's how we're differentiating. By a p'tua daka who marries a bas Yisrael initially, he never was able to provide truma for her. But here we're talking about a Kohen. He started off as a normal person. He wasn't injured. And so she started the truma. So therefore, the question is, we allow it to continue as long as it doesn't have relations. Rav Amar, you know what it means? He could feed truma makamach. Why the cases are not comparable? He's able to feed truma makamacher if he has, let's say, Canaanite slaves. A Kohen has Canaanite slaves that permit the truma, right? You can't draw one from another. Right? He posed the question. A Bas Yisrael, a Kohen P'sudak is married to a Bas Yisrael. Does she permit the truma? So he says, why not? He could feed truma to Mokum Acher. Right? So therefore, so Rabbi says, but they're not comparable. That's feeding to a slave. That's not feeding to a wife. Therefore, what does Rabbi says? Where do we find the case where he could feed to a wife? That's the case where originally he was married to before he was injured, and she was eating. Now he becomes a P'suah Daka. Lo yafina kinidishus mikin davod rava lo amakabaye. Shani Hosam Shivar Ochlot. It's not comparable there because she already was eating. Our question is speaking where P'suah Daka marries a what? Marries a Bas Yisrael as a P'suah Daka. So she can never start eating because of him. That's the Shiloh. Abayi Shekvar Ochlo Aminon. Dilo Temehochi. He says just because she ate means nothing. He brings a phenomenal proof. What happens if a Kohen marries a Bas Yisrael? She has no children from him. Then he dies. Does she continue eating truma after he dies? No. So you see, just because she began eating, you can't eat any longer. So the same thing. Even though originally a Kohen marries a Bas Yisrael, she's permitted to eat truma. Subsequently becomes a P'suah Daka. So he says, Rabbi says, well, since she's eating, she can continue. What does one thing have to do with another? But since now, if he'd have relations with her, she wouldn't be permitted. So even though he didn't have relations with her, that she shouldn't be permitted to eat. Why? Dilo temehochi bas Yisrael shenisel kohen umis. A bas Yisrael is married to a Kohen, he dies. Techul shkarocha. Do we say that she continues eating because she ate before? The moment he dies, it's over. Rava says, what kind of comparison is it? Hosapok kinyoni. Over there, when the Kohen dies, why is the wife permitted to eat truma? Because she's considered kinyan kesef. So the moment he dies, she's no longer his kinyan kesef. Here she's still the wife of the P'suah Daka. She's still the wife of the Kohen. Therefore, since she began eating and she was permitted, therefore she could continue. Gufa. Where was the question posed? Here? So therefore, the Gemara wants to differentiate between a P'suah Daka, right? A P'suah Daka who marries initially a Bas Yisrael, and a person who's a P'suah Daka, she subsequently becomes a P'suah Daka. This is where he is. Rabbi Yochanan Pesquesh Rabosha. P'suah Daka Kohen Shenosa Bas Gerim. Mau. A P'suah Daka is permitted to marry a Gioris. Normally. But this means a Kohen. Something else. A P'suah Daka is a Kohen Shenosa Bas Gerim. Mau She'achelena B'truma. On his behalf, she permitted the Truma. This is the question of Yochanan posed to Rabbi Oshia. Interesting. Wait, that's going to be the discussion now. That's the discussion. If you say he's permitted to marry her, then of course she's permitted to eat truma. But it's not so simple. He's permitted to marry her. The Yoris. Right? Maybe because Psua Dakas, he's already forfeited to agree his kuna. His kedusha is already affected. Therefore, he's permitted to marry. Well, no. Maybe he's of the opinion that even a Giores, if she converts before 3 years old, she's what? He's permitted her. The Gemara has discussed this. Ishtik. Definitely is not permitted to a Kohen. Okay, Ishtik, he remained silent. When Rabbi Yochanan posed the question of Oshia, he remained silent. With the Omar Lomidi, he remained silent. Sof Osa Gavro, Rabbo, Achrino. So Rabbi Oshia did not answer Rabbi Yochanan, he remained silent. Then afterwards, another great Torah sage came. Oboy mine milsa achrito, uposhet like. And he posed the question, and he resolved it. And who's the other person who came? Monday Rabbi Kalatsky. He says, Rabbi Oshia could not answer Rabbi Yochanan's question. Another Gavra Rabbah came, another great Torah sage came, and he resolved it. Omar le, Rabbi Yehuda Nesila Rabbi Oshia. 1 second. Rabbi Yehuda Nesila says to Rabbi Oshia, Oter Rabbi Yochanan lo Gavra Rabbah. He says, Rabbi Yochanan is not a Gavra Rabbah. 1 second. Just let me read this. Second. Gimel. Ishtik, lo malamidi, right? Lo malamidi. So far, so gav rabba, achrino, uboy mine milso, uposhet like. Right? Somebody else came and asked him, and he resolved it. To Rabbi Yochanan, he didn't resolve it. To this other Gav Rabbah, he did resolve it. Who was the other Gav Rabbah? Reish Lakish. You hear what's going on here? Rabbi Yochanan posed the question to Rabbi Oshia. Ishtik, he didn't say anything to him. Then somebody else came who was a Gav Rabbah and asked the question, and poshetly. And Rabbi Oshia resolved it. So Rabbi Yehuda Nesiyah says, Rabbi Yehuda Nossi says to Rabbi Oshia, or to Rabbi Yochanan, Gav Rabbah. He's referring to Reish Lakish, who's the student of Rabbi Yochanan, as a great Torah sage. What, Rabbi Yochanan is not a Gav Rabbah? He's not a great Torah sage. Omar lei. So, Rabbi Oshia says to Rabbi Yehuda Nesiyah, he says to him, O my emo lei, the kaboy mine milso, the Leslie Pasrik. He says, I posed the question to him, and he wasn't able to resolve it. Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't able to. So therefore, I refer to Reish Lakish as a Gavra Rabbah, and to Rabbi Yochanan not as a Gavra Rabbah, not as a Torah sage. Either Rabbi Yehuda, according to Rabbi Yehuda, yeah, 1 second. Yeah, he goes, there's a Russian Girsa. Yeah, either Rabbi Yehuda bein b'kedushosei koi, bein lo b'kedushosei koi, lo ochro. Yeah, this according to Rabbi Yehuda, we're talking about she converted when she was less than 3 years old. Okay, so now either Rabbi Yehuda bein b'kedushosei koi. Let's say the kohen retains his kedusha. He retains his kedusha. Mm-hmm. So then what? Then he's not permitted to marry, and you hold she is what? She's considered kohol. So it says a psudaka is not permitted to marry a woman who's part of the kol. She's not permitted to. Bein lav kedusha zekoi. And if you're going to say he what? He lost his kedusha's kuna. Lo ochlo. Also she's not permitted. If he retains his kedusha, she's not permitted to eat. And if he forfeits his kedusha, she's not permitted to eat. Why? Because if he forfeits his kedusha, he can't provide truma for his wife because he lost his kedusha. Now the Gemara explains. If he retains his kedusha, the kohen who has this injury, lo ochlo domamar basger zochi bas cholo. Yeah, the daughter of a ger, of a male ger, is like the daughter of a cholo. Kibas cholo. What's a person's a cholo? A Kohen, his father married a Gerusha, now he's born. Now he has a daughter. It's the Kohen's granddaughter born from what's the name? A Kohen marries a Gerusha, he has a son. Now the son is not a Kohen, he's a cholo, right? Now he marries a regular woman, and he has a daughter. What's the status of that daughter? Is that daughter, the granddaughter of the Kohen, is she permitted to marry a Kohen? No. Is she be an ordinary? No. If she's an ordinary Yisraelis, she'd be permitted. But if the blemish of the father carries over to the daughter, then she cannot. So he says, is a grusha? No. Regular case. We're saying that a basker zocher. We're talking about, again, regular case. A bas cholol is what? Forget about the convert. Regular case. A Kohen marries a grusha, has a son. He's not a Kohen. He's called cholo. That cholo has a daughter. That daughter has the same status as if it be his daughter. Let's say they originally would have had a daughter. That daughter cannot marry a Kohen. Correct? Because she's a chalola. So now the granddaughter, he had a son. He didn't have a granddaughter. He didn't have a daughter. There's a granddaughter bought from that. The granddaughter has the status of a chalolo. The granddaughter, she cannot marry a Kohen. Okay? So he says, we're saying, no, we'll see. We will rule this. Omar Bas Ger Zocher, the daughter of a Ger. A Ger, the father converts, and now he has a daughter. Kebas Cholo Zocher. It's the equivalent of a Bas Cholo Zocher, where a Kohen had a son, and now he has a granddaughter. That's even B'Kedushosei Koy. Ila B'Kedushosei Koy. And if we say he forfeits his kuna, lo ochot aminan kal gerim mikri kol. So then we'll say because kal gerim are also called kol, so he's not permitted to her. V'ilo Rabbi Yossi, and according to Rabbi Yossi, ben kedusha seikoi, ben lav kedusha seikoi, ochlo. According to Rabbi Yossi, whether he retains the kedusha, doesn't retain the kedusha, she can eat truma on his behalf. Why? No, right now we're saying according to Rabbi Yehuda, regardless, she cannot eat truma on his behalf. If the tzuadaka is mekadesh, a gioris who converted before she was 3 years old, okay, either because she has the status of a chalola, or because we say he's not permitted to her, because he's not even permitted to marry a gioris, because it's called kol. Whether he retains his kedusha, whether he doesn't retain the kedusha, she's permitted to eat. Why? The second generation of a ger marries a giores, that child is permitted to a kohen. And if he doesn't have kedusha, she's permitted to eat. He's permitted to her. A woman who's the child of a ger, Rabbi Lesben Yaakov says that the only time the child of a ger can eat truma if the mother's Jew, was originally a Jew. A ger marries a Bas Yisrael, the daughter is considered a full Jewess, permitted to a Kohen, even though the father was a ger. But if the mother's a giores, then she's not permitted to marry. That's the way we rule. The daughter of a giores is not permitted to a Kohen, right? But if the father was a ger and the mother's a regular Jewish woman, then the daughter is permitted to a Kohen. Okay? No. It's different. No, it's a machlokes tanoim. We're speaking about this way we rule. Isha bas gerim lo sanas l'kuna. A woman who's born from the mother's a giores, she's not permitted to marry a Kohen. Okay? Even though she was born, her mother already was Jewish. She was conceived after her mother converted. But because the mother is a giores, she is considered like a chalola. Okay? The ger, the father's a ger. The father's a ger, and he married a regular Jewish woman who was always Jewish, which they're permitted. That daughter is permitted to a Kohen. Because the mother is not a Gioris. Okay? Means the mother determines the status of the girl regarding Kuna. If the mother's a Gioris, it carries over to the daughter. It's like the daughter's a Gioris. And if the mother is a full-fledged Jew, or initially a Jew, there's nothing to carry over, so therefore she's permitted. Actually, Ima b'Yisrael, v'chim Vayeilech. Sherish, what's the question? Kashrus mitosa v'ochlo. This is the question's posed. Do we say Sheros kashrus mitosa v'ochlo? We're talking about she is a what? Yeah. 1 second. And therefore she's permitted. What does this mean? We're speaking about the mother is Jewish. Kashas itosba, ruya lakuna. Yeah? She could marry a Kohen because her mother's Jewish. Her father was a ger. The mother is a Jewish woman. This is the Shaila. She's permitted to Kohen. Uvelav kedusha lakruyi kol. But she's not considered. There is no kedusha that she's called kol umeteres l'psua daka. No, so then she's permitted to a psua daka because she's not called kol. Her classification is not kol. Bocheles memonovshach. No, it's very good. The pedigree of the mother is determined by the father, right? Does she belong to any tribe? She doesn't belong to a tribe because her father's a ger. She's permitted to a Kohen because the mother was a Jew originally. So why is a P'tua Daka not permitted to marry a regular Jew? Because it says a P'tua Daka is not permitted to marry somebody who's part of the Kohol. So if you're one of the 12 tribes, he's not permitted to marry you. This P'tua Daka, this Kohen who's P'tua Daka marries a woman who's the child of a woman who was always Jewish, but the father is not Jewish. It was a ger. Okay? So now, so what is the daughter? The daughter is not Kol, right? Because the father has no identity. He's not part of any of the tribes. And he's permitted to a Kohen. She's permitted to a Kohen because as long as her mother was originally a Jew, she's married to a Kohen, according to Reb Lezer ben Yaakov. So therefore, that's the Shaila. She should be able to eat Truma. Because the relationship will not defile her, right? And he's a Kohen, right? So that's what we're saying. Even though he's considered a full bona fide Kohen, right? She's permitted. And even if you can say that she is considered Kol, that's the Shaila. Let's get back to the Gemara again. This is the Shaila Rabbi Yochanan posed. The question Rabbi Yochanan posed was according to Reb Lezer ben Yaakov. What's the Shaila? The mother is a Jew, the father is a ger. So do we say Kashas mitosa v'ochlo, right? Since she's considered a bona fide Jew, she's a bona fide Jew, the daughter, which is permitted to the Kohen, therefore she can eat. He's permitted to her because she's not called Kol. So even when he lives with her, he will not defile her. O dilma kedusha mitosa v'ochlo. Or do we say no? She is considered Kol. So if we see her as a full-fledged Jew, although her father is a convert, we see her as part of the Kol, although she's not part of the tribes, so that he's not permitted. So if he's not permitted, ultimately could he live with her? He's not permitted to cohabit with her. So therefore, in that case, he would not be permitted. She would not be permitted to eat Truma. So Rabbi Yochanan's question that he posed is according to Reb Lezer ben Yaakov, that we say, although she's permitted, kashrus mitosa v'ochlo udilma kedusha mitosa v'lo ochlo. Rui lokam v'lav kedusha l'krui kol tas psudak v'chel smonav shach. Dinamik kedusha goy harizum teres mishum sakal lamitzer udilma kedusha nami tas v'kal l'kri v'asur psu v'lo ochlo bishlachnim v'yamora baski, right? Avobas ger, right? She says Odil Kishtos Linos Lakuna. Vachten Imo Yisrael Nihida Kedusha Lesbo Kasha Miyaiko. So I don't stand. What was the real Yochannan's question? The real question is, according to Reb Lezman Yaakov, but Reb Lezman Yaakov said that if the mother originally was Jewish, she's permitted to a Kohen. So if she's permitted to a Kohen, what's the second side of the question? First side I said why she should be able to eat. He's a Kohen. He marries a woman that's permitted to him, right? So if she's permitted, that means Reb Lezman Yaakov says she's not called Kol. Because there says a P'sua Daka is not permitted to marry somebody from the Kol. So he's a Kohen, so why shouldn't she eat Truma on his behalf? What's the second side? How does he explain it over? What's the second side of the Shiloh? That she should not be able to eat Truma.
Since the explanation is somewhat forced, however, as the term kashrut fitness would usually be applied to be a member of the congregation, and the term kedusha, sanctity, to be fit for the kahuna,
Right.
according to the alternative explanation mentioned by Rashi.
Now, I don't want the alternative. I want the first explanation.
It's a stretch. He says fitness referring to the congregation.
No.
He doesn't like it. He says it from the beginning. He says.
I think you're reading the wrong one. Let me see, Gemara. You're reading the wrong one. Wrong one. 1 second. You look reading 32? Or is now explained Rabbi Yochanan's inquiry whether the daughter of a male convert and native Jewish may eat Truma if married to a Mem Kohen. Rashi's preferred explanation. Yeah, the end, right. Although Rabbi Yochanan phrased his inquiry in terms of a Mem Kohen who married the daughter of a convert, he is not referring to where both parents were converts, but only to where her father was. She may eat Truma, even if a Mem Kohen retains his sanctity. The fact that she is the daughter of a native Jewess makes her fit for a Mem Kohen, but does not make her part of the congregation, should make her fit. This P'sua Daka asked that. I got the assumption that Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov holds with Rabbi Yossi about the congregation converts not being considered part of the congregation in which unfit people may not enter. 1 second. Rashi adopts, force him to explain kashrus fitness as far as fitness of a kuna and kedusha sanctity. Yeah. Flesh is somewhat forced, however. Kashrus fit would usually be applied to being a member of the congregation. Indeed, according to the alternative, okay, terms are employed. Okay, it doesn't. No, it doesn't explain it well enough. Doesn't explain it. I don't get it. I don't hear it. According to Rabbi Yossi. We're going according to Rabbi Lezman. Yeah, he says he posed the question according the question was posed according to Rabbi Lezman Yaakov. According to if what a bas gerim, if both parents were gerim, she's not permitted. But if the mother is original Jew, yeah, kashrus mitosa bo v'ochlo, odilma kedusha mitosa bo v'lo ochlo. Second. Rabbi Yossi. 2 seconds. Elo Rabbi Yehuda ben Kedusha. Elo Rabbi Yossi of Samach. Second. Rabbi Yossi's further. Okay, wait till later. We'll have it. We'll have this. Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Lezman Yaakov. Three-way argument. Okay, let's go further. Toshmat, ki osu Ravacha barchina midroma, os vaisa masisa biyodeg. When Ravacha barchina came from the south, he brought a brisa with him. Minayin leptu adako kohen shenosa bas gerim shemachila betruma. How do we know that a ptu adaku marries, who's a kohen marries a bas gerim that he could feed her? Shenemar kohen kiyikne nevish kinyan kaspo. It says yochal bo leman. Ilim Rabbi Yehuda ma ben kedusha say koi ben lav kedusha koi lo ochlo. Can't be according to Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says either way she cannot eat. Ilo Rabbi Yossi lamali kro ma ben kedusha say koi ben lo kedusha koi. She can, right? She can either because she's not called kol, or he himself his kedusha is diminished. El lav the Reb Lezer and Yaakov. So evidently it's going like Reb Lezer and Yaakov. Shmano kashas he tosebo. V'ochlo, shmamino. So what does it say? It says over here she can. That although he's a psuadaka, so we say kedusha linosi lakuna. We see her as a woman that's permitted to marry the kohen. V'achtein imam Yisrael nihid kedusha lesbo. Even though the mother is not from Yisrael, although she doesn't have the kedusha, kashus mio isbo. Ubakal kol he. So v'lo no, excuse me. Rabbi Yossi litzos nefesh yiseiro, kamel l'monushach ochlo. Right? You don't need nefesh. It says kohen kikin and nefesh kaspo. According to Rabbi Yossi, I don't need nefesh. Evidently, so it was going like Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov.
Well, what's new about that? We said it. We said that the daughter of a convert is fit to marry a Kohen.
Isha bas gerim. Kuna achte imo Yisrael.
That was uncertain. The word nefesh is highly said to be true. Be careful. That is not sacred. She is permitted to marry
A kohen.
a damaged Kohen.
Yep. So what does that mean? Because she's not called kol. That's the reason. And what was the other side of the question? Maybe she is called kol. If she's called kol, it's a problem. Yeah, right, exactly. See, the whole thing I didn't understand because originally we quoted Reb Lezer ben Yaakov in the Mishnah, and he says, Isha bas ger lo sinosi lakuna, ashte imam Yisrael. But if the mother, then she's permitted to marry a Kohen. So evidently, according to, no, it's good. If the mother would be Jewish, any Kohen can marry her. What about if the mother is a ger? A Kohen's not permitted to marry her. But our question is, what about a Kohen who's suadaka? Is he permitted to marry her? So we're saying, we're quoting a brisa from Nefesh that he could feed her truma. So that's the question. If she's a full-fledged Jew, no, I don't need a posuk. It's like a regular wife. If he's permitted to marry, he's a regular full-fledged wife. A regular Kohen's married to marry a woman with the mother's full Jewish. Do I need a posuk tell me to eat truma? It's like any Kohen feeding his wife truma. So evidently, this brisa that it says the reason why she's permitted truma because this is Nefesh. Evidently, who's going to Reb Lezer ben Yaakov? Although a regular Kohen cannot marry this woman, but because he's a psuadaka, he's a damaged Kohen, right? This pasuk is telling me he can marry. Because the mother's a gioris. No. We're talking about the mother's a gioris. And that's our shayla. Where the mother is Jewish, any Kohen can marry her. And any Kohen can feed her truma. It's not a problem. Our question was, what about if the mother's a Gioris? The father's a Gioris, and the mother's a Gioris, and now they have a daughter. Is a Ptsua Daka, if he marries that woman, is she permitted to eat truma? So we're quoting a brisa. It says, Nefesh tells me she's permitted. Who's this going according to? According to the opinion that either he lost his Kedusha or she's not called Kol, right? She's called Kol, it's never a problem. She could eat, I don't need a posuk. So who's it going according? It's going according to Reb Lezer and Yaakov. That although an ordinary Kohen is not permitted to marry her, but because he's a Ptsua Daka, because he's a damaged Kohen, the Pasuk says, since this is considered his wife, who's permitted him, therefore she can eat Truma on his behalf. That's the conclusion of the Gemara. That's the going saying now because she converted before she was 3 years old. No. This is speaking about where this is the daughter of a convert. The child was born as a convert. The parents converted. Father, mother converted. Now there's a girl born. That girl cannot marry, what's his name? A Kohen. But the mother's Jewish, not a problem. Was always Jewish, not a problem.
So the Jewish woman who married the non-Jewish, the man who converted, no limitations on the child.
Correct. No limitations. But here, what about if the mother and father both converts? That child cannot marry a Kohen. But what about if Tzudak was a Kohen? That is permitted. It's permitted. And not only that, she could even eat Truma. This is Reb Lezer and Yaakov. That's what we're saying. Okay. Itmar. Rav Omar yesh chuppah lepsulos. Hear this. What happens if Kohen, he does chuppah with a woman who's an almana? Kohen girl is not permitted to marry. He takes her to the chuppah. So Rashi says, "Sheichnis almana bas Kohen lechuppah v'lo bo aleho." He didn't have relations with her, right? It was a full marriage, but he never consummated the marriage. And Rashi says, "Mikor nama lo kitcho afiloch postel mitruma beinosha." No, the marriage, he should not be. No, the marriage is not a kosher marriage. He's not permitted to. No, that's what we're saying. Although he never made kedushin, and although he only did chuppah, right? She's already not permitted to eat truma. We're talking about over here. She herself is an almana who's a bas Kohen. She's a bas Kohen. She can eat truma independent of the husband. A Kohen Gadol goes and now takes her to chuppah. Okay? He never did kedushin on her. She already forfeits her right to eat truma. Of course, we see it already. She's in a forbidden relationship. Because chuppah means he's permitted to have, they're holding by having relations.
Right.
Never, even though he didn't have relations, he's not permitted. She's not permitted to eat truma.
So the difference between the beginning of the was that she was not...
Until now, we're talking about she only did kedushin. Until now, we had an argument if kedushin was done.
Right, now we know
There's no kedushin. No kedushin was done.
Right, but here, starting a kedushin...
No, we didn't start here. There's no kedushin. Ishchup l'psulas means he took her to chuppah. He did not do kedushin with her.
Is it chuppah and kedushin the same?
No. Chuppah means you take her into your home.
Right.
That's chuppah.
Okay.
He didn't give her money. He didn't say Mikdash with money.
Right.
Rashi says second line, make korah nami lo kitcho. Originally he didn't do kedushin. Afiloch postel mitruma de beinosho, the chuppah kiknisas bilod nami. Because take chuppah means that's already, she's ready to what? You're holding a relationship which cannot be. Shmuel Amar ain't chuppah l'psulos. No, the chuppah does not cause her to forfeit. Since factually she was never defiled by the husband,
There's no relationship, right?
so therefore she's permitted to continue truma. Why is she eating truma? Not because of the husband.
No,
Because she herself is a bas Kohen. Omar Shmuel lo modele abba betinokas pchusa mibashol l'shonim v'yom echad. Hovein lo bio ein lo chuppah. You hear this?
So the woman now is under 3.
If she's under 3, even though he took her to chuppah, it's not called it's not called chuppah.
Right.
Chuppah means if a man takes a woman as a wife, what does a wife mean? He's engaged in relations with her.
Right.
But let's say he engages in relations with a girl who's less than 3. It's not called a sexual act.
Right.
So therefore, it's not called chuppah. Chuppah means to have relations as husband and wife. There's no husband relationship here. See, if he does Kedushin on a girl who's less than 3, Kedushin doesn't mean a full wife in terms of, right? Because she's less than 3 years old. So, but Kedushin, she's married. But if he skips the Kedushin, only takes her to the chuppah, and she's and less than 3 years old, is the bia called bia? It's not called bia. She's not defiled. It's nothing. So he says, even Umoda Liaba, Shmuel says that Rav agrees to me that if she's less than 3 years old, since the whole bia has no relevance, the chuppah is nothing. We have a Mishnah which supports this. If a girl is 3 years old, you could do Kedushin with bia, because it's an act of bia. A girl is less than 3 years old or more falls to Yibum as a Yivama. The Yavim has sexual relation with her, she becomes his wife. And if somebody else has a relation with her, it's called adultery. If she's a nida, the Torah says if a person has relations with his wife as a nida, it's because it's a sexual act, he becomes contaminated. Nisis l'kohen, if she marries a kohen, ochelis b'tshuma, bo'aleh echad m'kolapsulim, poslo. Bashal l'shalom yom echru, the poslo. When does she become defiled? If she's 3 or more, b'biyah. Right? Bashal l'shalom yom echru, the mifsalo, b'biyah. Mifsalo b'chuppah. So since the biyah is called the biyah to invalidate or to defile her, therefore the chuppah, which is for biyah, that's why it already disqualifies her for truma. But if she's less than 3 years old, if somebody would have relations with her, she would not be considered defiled. So chuppah, what is chuppah? What's the rationale why chuppah disqualifies her from truma? Because chuppah is meant for biyah. But even if the husband has biyah with her, it means nothing. It's not called biyah. Therefore, the chuppah is not a chuppah. This question about chuppah psulos, both the machloks Rameh of Reb Elazar, Reb Shimon. So this is the argument we had earlier. Rameh doma kedushin pasli. According to Rameh, who says that if a man just marries a woman he's not permitted to, because since ultimately it's meant to be chuppah, that disqualifies her. Chuppah nami pasli. Reb Elazar, Reb Shimon, nami kedushin lo pasli. They say if it's mina, let's say she's widowed mina erisin. Right? She's permitted to eat truma according to Rabbi Elazar. Nami lo poslo. Umimai says no. Dilma atkan lo kam Reb Meir hosam el b'kedushin the konilo. Kedushin where it's considered he acquires her. Avo chuppah lo konilo lo. Chuppah without kedushin is nothing. Man says I'm marrying you with chuppah. Well, what kind of marriage? Without you have to go step 1 before you go to step 2. So therefore, since chuppah without biyah means nothing, so it has no value. Man says, I'm marrying you, come into my domain. What kind of marriage is this? If he has a relation with this, one thing, but he doesn't have relations, it has nothing. Because it has no bearing. Inami, Adkan lo kam Reb Elazar Shimon Hosam Elad b'kedushin lo krivi labiyah. Earlier, what do we say even with kedushin? She's permitted to eat, because kedushin is not biyah. Avol chuppah to crave with labiyah, but when you take her in as a wife, you're about to have relations with her. It's for that. So therefore, this discussion here has nothing to do with the previous machlokas. Tanya, to be continued.